everybody, it's me, Chelsey, for Sassafras and Hullabaloo, and today we are doing TMI Tuesday.
Hi, this is Chelsey for Sassafras and Hullabaloo. Hullabaloo, hullabaloo.
So guys, if you're watching, you are welcome to stay, but we will be talking about womanly products, and I'm going to be doing a review of the likes, so you are welcome to just click out of here and not listen to the rest of this. Okay? Okay, bye! So today we're going to be talking about menstrual cups, and I'm only doing this review because I get so many questions. It's one of those things where, well, do you need tampons? Do you need, whatever? And it's like, no, I have a menstrual cup. And then I get flooded and bombarded with at least 26 questions. So we're going to try and cover those today, and I'm going to do a review of the menstrual cups that I have, and why I found that works, why I found that, what are some cons, things like that. So let's start out with the pros and cons of menstrual cups. The overall pros of a menstrual cup is that, number one, there's no toxic shock syndrome. And when the vagina is dry, it will lead to toxic shock syndrome, which is far more likely with a tampon or the pad, because you're wicking away all the moisture. They don't want you to leave in your tampon for more than 6 hours, 6 to 8 hours. And same thing with the pad, they don't want you wearing that more than 6 to 8 hours type thing. So there's no toxic shock syndrome with a cup because you're not wicking away moisture, you're not really in danger of drying out the vagina or drying out anything. Number two, you can leave them in a really long time. Since there's no risk of having toxic shock syndrome, you can actually leave in your cup for basically as long as it takes to fill it. Generally, it's about 4 ounces, 6 ounces, something around there, of menstrual fluid that a woman has during her cycle. So you can actually leave it in. They recommend 12 hours is about it. And I think that's nice because you don't want to change it at a women's restroom, and you can actually block that time and be like, okay, well, I'm going to change my cup in the morning, and then I'm going to go do my stuff, and then 12 hours later, I'm back at home usually. So it's not you can time block it, and so it's a lot easier to do that. A big thing is that you can actually save bank, and that's the nice thing about these. Generally, a woman spends nearing $4,000-ish during her lifetime on menstrual supplies. And these guys, I think you only need to buy, probably 2 or 3 maybe in your life, and if they're around $25 a pop, as opposed to $4,000, that's, you're spending probably under $200 your entire lifetime on cups, as opposed to $4,000. So you're really, saving a lot of bank on that. Also, this is my favorite, there is no smell at all, because usually when you have, a pad on or tampon inserted, there's a lot of smell. I haven't noticed a smell. I've been using these, and I don't notice a smell when I use them. Also, no weird chemicals. The FDA actually doesn't have a say in what chemicals are used in tampons and pads. So when you're sticking a thing up inside you, you don't really have any idea the kind of chemicals that are in that. FDA grade medical silicone, hospital grade, basically. It's medical grade silicone. It doesn't have any weird chemicals in it. So you don't have to be worried about that. The cons of these, one of the things, they might be uncomfortable. You have to really kind of experiment with sizes. I found that these guys are actually less uncomfortable than if you had a tampon. I hate tampons because they are so freaking uncomfortable. They're not as uncomfortable, I want to say, as a tampon would be. And if you get the right size, they're not uncomfortable at all. And and we'll go through that in insertion and sizes and things like that. So you don't really need to worry about that. You might have to buy a few just to see, okay, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, this is comfortable, this isn't, things like that, to see what size actually seals and what doesn't. So, it takes a little bit of experimentation. But you can actually make them comfortable if they are uncomfortable, and I will get to that in my Diva Cup part of my review, so yay! It can kind of be messy at times, but that's the nice thing about you can wear them for 12 hours, is that you can actually time block when you want to change them and when you can and when you can't. I'm actually in off-season right now, but I was working at a golf course for the season, and my shifts generally ranged about 8 hours, so I would, empty my cup at home and, put on a new one, whatever, or clean out, whatever, and then I would work for my 8 hours, and then I would come home and I would change it. So, I didn't have to, change it within that time period of me being at work. So, and also I was doing a lot of running around, and these suckers don't come out. That's the nice thing, is that they don't come out, and they actually seal pretty well once you have the right size. Alright, so on to my first review is going to be for the Diva Cup. Diva Cup came in a little nice thing like this. It came with a little stupid flower pen that I will never ever use, and then it also came with wash, silicone wash, which I use all the time. I love that stuff. Okay, so as you can see, I have edited this sucker, because I put it in the first time, and it hurt like crazy. I couldn't even use it. And and this is what they told me to do, so I followed the instructions online. So it was actually like this, and then it had this stem that was really long on it, which was super uncomfortable. And these little grippy knot thingies, it has little grip rings on it, those are really uncomfortable too. But the cup was just too big, and it hurt really bad. Diva Cup only has 2 sizes, which is really obnoxious. And, I mean, it sealed well, it just hurt like crazy, and I felt something rip so I'm not sure if I broke my hymen or what. So it was, yeah. But I followed the instructions, on this guy, and you're supposed to flip it inside out, which I did, and then I actually sewed this sucker, and I added, I was careful not to actually break through and make it leak. But I did sew actually a cord onto it so that I could get to it. But yeah, this is actually my most comfortable Diva Cup now, is this one, and it's the only thing that I'm afraid of is it to pop inside out while it's inside me. But as you can see, it takes it takes a lot to make it pop, so it's not, since it's deep enough. My thing is that it only comes in 2 sizes. Diva Cup only comes in 2 sizes, which is the women that haven't had babies and the women that have had babies. So, for a woman who is a virgin, it's kind of this was too big. So, I needed, a 3rd size. And, if I have to edit the cup, it's probably not that great of a thing. I'm just saying, you need another size. Preferably a smaller one. And since I flipped it inside out, it's actually pretty comfortable, and I like it. But if I have to edit your product after I paid a lot of money to ship it and whatever, that says to me that you need to fix your product. Next, we're going on to the Mi Luna, and there are these guys. Now, Mi Luna, were actually attracted to me. Not only was there color options, which I'm a bright, sparkly girl, I like my color options, but also they had firmness choices and size choices. So they had, this is the smallest size, so you can see the difference and how small it is compared. Okay, and this one's the sports one. You can also get them with gripping options. This one has a little ring on the end, and this one has a nodule, and then you can also get the stick option. But this one is the sports one, so it has a firmer kind of silicone feel to it, so it pops, and then this one is the classic one. This one I use on the golf course, this one I use whenever. The pros for this guy is that there's all the different options of sizes, firmness, things like that, which I really enjoyed. The one con that I have is that if it's not pushed in enough, it hurts really bad. Just because there's the stem and the grips, and they rub on the labia, so it's kind of really uncomfortable if it's not pushed in enough, and if it's not the right angle. So, if the stem isn't, parallel with your labia, it's kind of uncomfortable. a lot. So, you have to be like careful about that. So if you guys have any more questions about cups, menstrual cups, reviews of whatever, you can just hit me up or comment below or whatever. And I will see you guys later. And thanks for putting up with my TMI Tuesday. Okay, bye.